Green belt level is called Dan-gun. Now, when we do our Dan-gun form, we're going to change the stance from a cat stance to a back stance. Now, the only difference is, instead of being up on the ball of the foot, we're going to go flat, but the weight distribution is the same. So I still have 85 to 90% of the weight leaning back here on this right leg as my left leg is pointed in the direction that I'm moving. So when I step out, again, I'm stepping out with my left foot, nice and strong on the chumbi. Turn and look. First thing I'm going to do is step out and do a double knife hand block. Now the chamber for this, what we're going to do is we're just going to chamber both hands on the right hip, just like a little triangle here. As I shift into the back stance here, the left hand is coming out, and it's going to be eye level as the right hand comes here, and it's almost like you're chopping your own center. Now that's going to be right at the solar plex level, defending that. So when we do it all together, it'll look a little bit more like this. Okay, so you don't want to step into place, chamber, and then do the block or the strike or whatever technique that is in the form. We want to time the lower body and the upper body to work together. Okay, so as I step out, I turn and look. I'm chambering here. I'm making the strike. Little curl in the thumb, curl in the fingers. Right hand at the solar plex level, leaning the weight on the back. Front hand is your eye level. I step forward into a forward stance again, opening those hips and making sure that it's like I'm walking on two lines, two parallel lines, instead of having both feet on the same line, which gives you no stability. So if you're at home and you're a parent and you're watching this and you're trying to help and you see the kids line the legs up, what you could do is just go give them like a little nudge. Wherever they step out and land naturally, that is the position really they should be in when it comes to the forward stances. You'll see us do that in class. Sometimes we'll give them a little bump, and then wherever they land, that's really the natural position for them. Okay, so starting from the top, going from number 1 here, number 2, and then we're going to repeat, going to number 3. Hands are going to chamber on the left side of the hip this time, still in that triangle motion. I turn. Notice how my left foot just kind of did a little turn here and landed, going flush across the line. This right foot is forward, and that's where the strike is coming out. Eye level with the front, little curl in the fingers, little curl in the thumb, but keep the hand loose and relaxed. Stepping to number 4, center punch. Now going from number 4 to number 5, we're going to turn and look, and we're going to do the low block just like we did in the beginning forms. Then I'm going to step forward, punch, punch, and kiap. Now I'm going to chamber both hands with the hands closed, knuckle to knuckle on the right hip. So when I spin here, notice how my right foot, I kind of come up on the heel just a little bit, turn, plant it when it gets towards the back wall. My left foot, instead of being in that cat position, is going to go flat for the back stance, and I'm going to do a double block here. So imagine like a rising defense with the right and an inside 2 out with the left. And again, this has a lot of different applications as far as self-defense is concerned. Now from here, I'm going to step forward and punch. Same thing, opposite side. I step forward and punch. Now going to the back here, I'm going to do a double move. So I'm going to do the low, and then I'm going to do the rising. But notice that my lower body didn't move. What I want to do for that second strike is get some momentum and get some power behind it. So I turn the body. Notice when I turn my feet, that actually moves the arm. It's not the arm that's moving across, it's the body turning that's moving it for me. As I turn, this right hand comes up and again closes that center line down so I can twist back into position. So here, twist, and back. And then we're going to do those 3 rising blocks that we talked about in the earlier forms in Sambo, where we turn the hips here, or turn the feet, which turns the hips, giving us that ability to turn towards the desired direction that we're moving. Pow, twist. Boom, and there's where the kiap is. Now, finishing the form off, the left hand is going to come up and chamber. So just like we did before when we closed it down, the only difference is it's going to be open. So when I spin and I land in that back stance, that side chop is coming right out. Now I want to make sure that it's not on an angle too high or too low or to the corner. It's in line all the way across to my right shoulder. Notice the legs are bent, right hand is chambered back, hand is straight, clench the fist, step into a forward stance, which I didn't have to do anything with my left leg because it was already pointed forward, so it squared the hips up perfectly. Going to the last move, the right hand chambers to the top, step across to the opposite side. As soon as you land, that should be coming out and landing at the same exact time. Clench the fist, step forward, finishing the form in the forward stance center punch. Like the other forms, that lead leg is going to come back, left leg comes in, and again, I'm right back here on the starting point, which can be one of your goals as you're working on these forms. Make sure that you mark where you start from, and if the form is correct throughout and all the stances match up, you should land where you started in most cases. So I hope that helps. Practice, practice, practice. But just remember, practice does not make perfect. What makes perfect? Perfect practice. So make sure that every time you're working on a kick or a form that you're taking your time and you're thinking about the little things, the details, and that's what's going to make your form look phenomenal. So just put a little bit of that extra effort and you'll soar. I'm Tony with All Star Kids Karate Academy. Thanks for joining us in the online university. Hope this helps.